Hey everyone, it's a terrible thing when improperly packaged food goes into the freezer and you go to get it later and you find out it's got freezer burn, and what you did is you turned money into garbage. With the never-ending rising cost of food prices, wasting money, wasting food, it's not an option. Owing to our disdain of processed foods and meats, we have a freezer which we store food in that we pick up at a butcher shop as opposed to getting it off the shelf. This is generally not packaged as individual meals, so we separate them and we vacuum pack them, and we're able to store them for a good long time without the food getting ruined. Here's an example of cold cuts and sausages that we've stored. I have found no good way to store items in a freezer for any given amount of time unless it's vacuum packed. For about 15 years we've had this Foodsaver V3460. In my experience, Foodsavers were always a bit overpriced. They feel very cheap and plasticky and bendy. I've done videos before on broken Foodsavers. I'll put a link on the top right as an example. And this is an automatic one. You put the bag in right here, it automatically vacuums and seals in one go. It's not designed for a lot of work. It's really consumer grade, so it overheats very quickly. I was actually out of bags, so I'll just fill this up and we'll continue. So I pull my bag to length and then cut it, seal one end. And you have to wait for the gears to crunch down the system in position. I hit seal to stop the vacuum. And after some time, the gear will release the bag as it's heat sealed on one side so that you could fill it with food. This might seem like a convenience, but there's a lot of moving parts and it's incredibly slow. Sealing the other end of the bag, you need a lot longer bag to get into the mechanism to engage it. And sometimes it takes a lot of time for it to find that. And then it'll start vacuuming. Once it finishes vacuuming, it's going to heat seal it. And there's nowhere for heat to go in this machine because it's an entirely contained unit. So after a couple of packages, it's already going to overheat and start blinking with an error. So if you're looking to spend a lot of money and you want the convenience and you're working in really low volume, a machine like this might be right for you. And when I say a lot of money, I mean $334 for the starter kit on Amazon. Walmart has a slightly smaller kit with less items that cost $241. And I could forgive most things with this machine, but if we open it up to have a look, we can see the heat bars contained within and just overheats very easy against this piece right here. It's just a very low volume, cheap machine. And we have done significant research to find a replacement for it. And what we came up with is this Nesco VS-12 vacuum sealer. It's a manual sealer, costing us $128, which had a slight sale to it, so it's probably a little more, around $140. As everybody knows, I don't take any handouts, so my reviews are completely unbiased. One of the first things I noticed is when you have a good product, how many cheap knockoffs from no-name companies there are. We can see one up there. Here's the one that I actually ordered. And I could go and scroll down through Amazon just looking for vacuum sealers and find very, very similar models, probably made in the same factory in China, to one that I purchased. But this one isn't a fly-by-night company, and it had 14,000 reviews that I was able to read through to find, what people thought about the machine. One thing about Amazon, you may find passionate, honest reviews, but you're guaranteed to find passionate, negative reviews. So it's time to pack up the old machine and bring in something new. Let's unbox. We've got the machine, documentation, and a free sample of bags. Let's unwrap the machine. Nothing further inside except some shipping tape, cardboard, and a notice. So we're going to take a look at the documentation. Within that bag, we have a notice for customer service, a warranty registration card, and an instruction manual. The bags that they provided are 2 different sizes. We'll evaluate them today. Opening up the unit now, we'll have a look inside. A reminder inside telling you not to rip off that copper strip. It's not packaging tape, it's the heat sealing element. Apparently this is a problem with folks. Here it is right here. That's the heat sealing element. I will, however, remove these 2 pieces of packing cardboard. There's one on each side, as well as the tape at the ends of both of these sides. Right over here is where the bags go. And just in front here, that's the cutting element for the bags. It fits under there. and then slides across to cut them. The end of the bag rests here for vacuum sealing. I did buy some aftermarket bags on Amazon, but the rolls are way too big to fit in that slot, so I'll have to spin some off and make 2 rolls out of it. But for now, what we're going to do is go ahead and use the provided rolls for testing. Placing it in the tray, lifting up this arm, and then pulling the bag under that arm and dropping it back down. Around the back is the power cord tied in a loom. We're going to remove that power cord now so we can plug it into a wall. The machine immediately turns on. We can see the LEDs illuminating. There's no power switch for this. When you plug it in, it turns on. So we're going to open it up, pull a length bag from the roll. When we have enough, we're going to push down and slide across to cut it. There it is. Now I could go all the way to those plastic stoppers to make the first seal, but I have a feeling I could put it right at the edge of the strip. So I'm going to try that now. And this is my first time doing it, so I'll probably get better at it. The handle is supposed to be up in the open position and then locked in a position. The machine has a manual seal button for making that first side of the bag. That way vacuum won't run. The 7-segment display in the middle counts down, letting you know how long it's going to take before this process completes. At this point, I can lift the handle and pull the seal bag out of the machine. Notice how close it got, a very small margin, so you save a lot of bag doing it that way. That's just what I do. We're looking at like 1/4 of an inch. Here's a comparison of margins of something that was sealed on the old machine vice the one I just made now. Look how much less waste that is. I'll point out that the correct way is not there, but pushing it all the way to here, which will use an extra inch of bag for nothing. You can see the difference right there. For the actual vacuuming step, of course, it has to go all the way up to the end because that's where the vacuuming element is. Again, this is my first time using it, so I'm a little fiddly with it. My wife is helping by closing it while I hold it in position. I'm using the default settings for both sealing and pressure, and then I'll hit the blue button to kick everything off. As it vacuums again, we see that progress indicator counting down, and it can stop depending on how long it's going to take to vacuum. We can see it stopped on 6. And then it jumped to 4, and then 3. It's counting down now. It stopped on 3. And by the time it hits 0, it's completely vacuumed and sealed. We hear that audible click. And it's done. We raise the handle, remove the food, and it's packaged, ready to go in the freezer. We can see there is a considerable margin on the vacuum side as compared to the sealing side. Compared to the old machine, the vacuum margin is about the same. So let's keep going. I was a little off on this one, so I'm going to need some practice if I want to use the edge, but this one made the seal nonetheless, just made it by millimeters. Also remember there's a tripod in front of the machine with a camera, so this is a 2-person effort. Came out nice. I'm going to swap out now for narrower bags. As one might imagine, the bag dimension has everything to do with what you're packaging. Each bag obviously requires 2 heatings. On the old unit, I could do about 5 or 6 bags before the unit overheats. This machine's doing about 12 or 13 before it tells me to slow down. You get the point. It just doesn't overheat like the automatic machine does. Let's go look at the top control panel now. All the way up top is a window to see the bag. I don't really see the value in that since you open it every time to use it. Yep, there's a bag in there. The sealing button sets how much time it's going to spend sealing, depending on if it's dry, moist, or double. The pressure sets what the vacuum is going to be before it stops vacuuming, if you have something delicate in there. Here we have our vacuum and seal button. This is also the cancel button. The manual seal without vacuum to make the bottom of the bag. This button is for the add-on canister option. We'll demonstrate that later. Under that button is a special button for marinades. And off to the right in red, we have the pulse vacuum button, which only pulls vacuum when you push the button down. Here we have the port for the canister and special bag vacuum. When you let go of the pulse vacuum, it does engage the sealing operation. This will then prevent the cover from opening. I'll cancel this with the cancel button. I don't want to seal without a bag in there. Most items are sealed on dry with normal vacuum. we could see here, after doing one at a time over and over and over again, I attempt to seal. When I press the button, I get a blinking light, and that tells me it's time to slow down and let it cool a bit. And that's fine by me, given the amount of bags that it sealed. Also, if you do one bag too quickly after the other, you'll get that blinking light error as well. Again, I change out the bags as needed. Now we'll be changing things up and sealing Black Forest ham. This doesn't require any setting changes, but we do try and keep it flat when putting it in the bag. Comes out real nice. I do try and avoid as much bag waste as possible. I think we're doing okay here. Here we have an example of delicate, liverwurst, and we want to make sure that it doesn't smush out of the container when we vacuum seal it. In this case, I'm going to set the pressure to gentle. And on sealing, as you click it, the lights will increase. That's 2 for moist, and then we got 3 for double. I hit it again, goes back to dry, but I'm going to leave it on moist for this one. Other than that, the process is the same, but we won't show this sped up now in real time. And it doesn't smush out of the packaging. It does take a lot longer to seal. The sealing portion I'll speed up for the video though. We'll have a look now, and we can see it barely came out of the package, so it worked very well. I'll try some cold cuts now, but I'm not going to use a bag. Instead, we'll use one of our vacuum containers. This tool and the containers are from Foodsaver, but it'll work in this machine. I insert the connection into the vacuum port. Notice the button doesn't do anything. The handle has to be closed for the pump to work. Demonstrating now, we hit canister, and we can see it pulls a vacuum here at the end of this hose. That's all it does. Pressing the cancel button will stop it. So I have cold cuts in the container. I'll put the cover on, placing the hose squarely over, lining up the connector. I'll then press the canister button, and you don't have to stop. Once it starts, the machine will automatically detect the ideal vacuum as the progress counter is counting down. Stopping is needed like it usually does, but when it hits 0, you've achieved the ideal vacuum. Essentially, we end up with a container that has no air in it, so it'll store food much longer, keep it fresher. I'll demonstrate releasing the vacuum, without which it would be very difficult to open this container. Marinade works in the same fashion, but it vacuums in intervals to optimize the marinating process. So when you hit the button, it does vacuum for quite a bit. I'm going to speed this up. Then it stops for a given amount of time. A few minutes later, it picks up again for a shorter duration, and the progress counter drops slightly once more. This goes on for quite a while, so we're not going to watch the whole thing, but that's how marinade works. But that concludes this video on this Nesco vacuum sealer. Priced right, doesn't feel cheap, and works in high volume. I hope you found this video enjoyable, entertaining, and informative. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below, helps me out a lot when you do, and hit that subscribe button to be informed of more videos like this when they come out. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?